What's up, my fellow YouTubers? So this is another awesome movie that went on sale for like $5 during the holidays. I don't know if it's still on sale, but this is definitely worth it. This is way better than I thought it would be because um, most boxing movies are kind of predictable, right? You get, obviously we've all seen the fucking Rockies. You know what I mean? He loses, he gets into a depression, he fucking loses everything, and then he fucking bounces back, and all of a sudden fucking he's a champion again, right? Okay, I know that story, right? The difference is this is real. This really fucking happened, and the reenactments are awesome, and it's sad how like people lived back then, and I'm sure it's still like that now, where the teacher goes to ask somebody to read, and she just looks at their shoes, and he has these really crappy shoes, and she totally ignores them in the room and picks a kid with the clean shoes, with the good shoes, and it's like wow. And like I said, I mean, this is what probably back in the '60s, maybe, or even before that. He's 74 now, and I'm 48, so yeah, it had to be 1949. He was born, right? I believe so. He would have been, yeah, it would have been in the '60s, I think, when he was like growing up during this time. But he took no shit from anybody, man. He fucking like somebody took his shoes and he fucking went after him, smashed the door in, and it's like a little bit of spoiler alert, but everybody probably knows about it by now, anyways. But anyways, he's this like troubled kid that loves to fight, and some guy, Forrest Whitaker in the movie was awesome. He sees that, almost punishes him, says, "Nah, nah, let's give this guy a chance as a boxer," and he does really good, and it's awesome because like he's almost like he grows up with it, almost like an atheist, where he's like, God doesn't matter about anything. I did it, I bought the food, not God, type of thing. And but his anger is what gets him the title. You know what I mean? It drives him, right. So he has a near-death experience at 28 in the ring. Like after the ring, he collapses, and I don't know if they don't get into details in the movie. I'm sure there's more to it, but he wakes up and says, "Oh my God, Jesus is alive in me." He like baptizes himself in the shower. He gets baptized in real life, and then he says, "Okay, I want to be a preacher. I don't want to be a boxer anymore." And for 10 years of his life in his prime, that he could have fought Muhammad Ali again, could have had all these championships and bounced back from losing to Muhammad Ali, and he could have like during that time did all this stuff, but he decides to be a preacher. I feel mixed emotions about that, and I'm sure a lot of people do. Like on one hand, it's like, damn man, what could have been, right? And then on the other hand, it's like, hey, props to him for giving it all up to be a preacher. But like many boxing videos, movies, and in real life, what happens is they hit a spot where they I don't know if he went bankrupt or not. I know I sure as fuck did in the real world, so I know how it goes. But it seems like he was going through that process in the movie. They didn't officially say it, but basically he has $2,000 left in the bank. But he's still young enough to go, and he's like, "That's it. I'm boxing." And his wife at the time's like, "Well, what if all that rage comes back?" And he does it in a way where he's still a Christian, but he's like, "I'm still gonna get the gold," right? He's like both. You know what I mean? He's like the old George and new George in the same George, right? And he's losing weight, and it's typical Rocky experience, but it's like it's not typical because he did it 10 years after he retired. He got the belt again, and he found it in him to get it again, and he fought his last fight at 40, like my age, in '97. I was like, holy shit, man! What props to him. And the whole movie, like points of it, are like tear jerkers too, man. It's like, wow, look at him bouncing back, look at him doing this, look at him being a changed man. And like when you become a Christian like that, people do take advantage of you, and people do like disrespect you. Oh, look at you now, this and that. And it goes through that spiritual thing where he's preaching, but he's like, man, I could knock this motherfucker out, right? At the same time, he's like, this isn't easy, right? That's what they don't touch upon, you know what I mean? People think that you're slow and fucking stupid because you're trying to turn the other cheek, and you're not. You just, that fucking old Big Daddy Ron is like kind of kind of trying to come out in the new Big Daddy Ron is just saying, no, 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 that's okay, don't do that, don't knock this motherfucking head off, right? And he's going through all that shit. I'm sure a lot of people go through a lot of that shit. And so he sells his how he had those grills or whatever. I actually bought my father a George Foreman grill for Father's Day a while back. As rest in peace, he passed away in 2019, but I remember that. But he actually sold his, I think, grill thing, commercial rights or whatever, for like 137 million, just so he could like be a preacher, and that combined with his boxing career, like he'll never run out of money. Obviously, I don't think he will. I doubt it. I googled it. His net worth million is 300 million, which I guess to some celebrities it's small, but I mean, hell, fuck, I'll take it, right? I'm a factory worker. But overall, whole point is, man, this movie is totally awesome. I overlooked it just because it's a boxing movie, but I wish I would have seen it sooner. But either way, I saw it last night, and I friggin' loved it, and I figured I'd do a blog on it. If you saw it, let me know if you liked it or not, because I loved it. I loved it. All right. And I will have more reviews on movies in the future. Peace out, my fellow YouTubers.